Hey guys, welcome back to Vertical Momentum. I'm your host, Richard Kaufman, also known as the Comeback Coach. Guys, you know me as the Comeback Coach. I once was a bad boy. I was not the bad boy, but my brother Sean is coming on. I had to write it down because he has so many things going on. Not only is he an author of an amazing cookbook, he's a father, he's a husband to an amazing woman, Michelle. He is an awesome actor. You've seen him everywhere on TV, Cobra Kai, Karate Kid 3. And now he came out with his own hot sauce. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit. So, guys, welcome to the stage, the bad boy, Mr. Sean Kanan. My brother,
Thank
how
you,
are you?
brother. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me back. I always look forward to, when I have the chance to, catch up with you and see what's going on in your life. And, we always have a good conversation.
And I got to give a big shout out to Robert Garcia. For if it
Oh,
wasn't for him and Shift Magazine, this would not be possible. So, got to
big,
give a big
big
shout
thank you.
out to
Big
Robert.
thank you to Rob. Absolutely.
So, I didn't mention that you were a TEDx speaker. I just literally watched 30 minutes of your TEDx talk. I watched it twice and I cried about three times. So, congratulations on the
Thank
TEDx
you.
talk.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that it's been kind of a bucket list thing for me to do a TEDx. And last year, I was making goals, and one of them was I wanted to do a TED, and I wasn't getting any traction. And so I figured, okay, maybe we'll just put that away for a while. And as luck would have it, I was in Arizona. Way of the Cobra was receiving an award, and there were a bunch of authors and speakers there. And I met a gentleman who introduced me to a woman who lives in Toronto, and she happened to be a TEDx coach and scout. And I said, "Well, do you have any plans to come to LA?" And she's like, "Well, as luck would have it, I'm coming to LA in a week." And I said, "Let's go grab lunch." And I sent her a video of what I thought my speech was going to be about. And when we had lunch, she informed me that she gets one slot a year where she can choose somebody, and she is giving the slot to me. So it's crazy how things work out.
And what I loved about it is because most of my audience are veterans and first responders.
Yeah,
A lot of us, when our career ends, we have to learn to reinvent ourselves and
yeah,
reimagine our lives.
yeah,
And that's you had to go through a whole reinvention and reimagining, especially after almost literally dying.
yeah.
So, could you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I was doing Karate Kid 3, and well, basically Christmas Day 1988, I passed out. I had been having a significant pain in my left thigh, which I thought was from all the martial arts training. But in reality, it was from internal bleeding, and blood was dripping on my femoral artery. My blood pressure dropped. Uh, Took me into emergency surgery, told me they didn't know if they could save my life. I woke up, had a 12-inch wound on my abdomen, and my first thought was, what am I going to do about this film? How am I going to stay in the film? And I didn't have to wait very long. The director called me and basically said, "Be back at work in 2 weeks or you're fired." And so I had the hospital release me against medical advice a few days later, about a week later, and I started trying to rehab myself. And long story short, I wound up doing all my own martial arts stunts and finishing the movie. And I don't have to tell those of you that are first responders and veterans that your metals tested in the fires of adversity. And at 22, that was really my first significant life test, and it's something that I wouldn't wish on anyone, but I wouldn't trade it away either, because it really um, it gave me a lot of life experience. And I was very determined that that experience wasn't going to define who I would become, but rather it would reveal who I truly was. And when things get tough for me, I always ask myself, well, is it as tough as being told that they don't know if they can save your life in the emergency room? No. So suck it up, buttercup.
But now, what was it like going from 180 pounds Now you're down at 150, 155 pounds.
Yeah.
How did that affect you mentally?
Well, first of all, I had seen Rocky 4 before I started the Karate Kid 3. So I thought it'd be cool to have a haircut like Dolph Lundgren. So I got that buzz cut, which looked great when I was 180 pounds. And when I was 155, I looked like a prisoner of war. I looked really emaciated. And, a lot of a lot of the weight that I'd lost was water, but still I lost a tremendous amount of weight in a very short amount of time. And I was very weak. I went from training every single day in martial arts, the choreography and everything, to really struggling to walk 10 feet to the bathroom in my hospital room. And, that was the first day. And then the next day I could walk around the hospital hallway outside. And a couple days after that, I was walking around 3 or 4 times. And that's when I had them discharge me. Um, but yeah, it was strange looking at myself in the mirror like that.
So now the movie comes out. It's a blockbuster. It's bad boy this, bad boy that. I'm sure
Yeah.
you're at it mentally. People would think you're at the top of your game. What were you going through? Any things while you're going through the top at the top of your
Well, I mean,
game?
look, I was a 22-year-old kid starring in a major studio movie, had a little money in my pocket, living above the Sunset Strip, single. You do the math. I- you know, I didn't get the playbook about how you're supposed to behave and conduct yourself, and I definitely was a bit of a wild child. Um, I wouldn't say I have regrets, but in retrospect, there were things that I could have done better to move my career along more quickly. But you know what? Everything happens as it's supposed to unfold. And I tell people that it really wasn't until I was honestly about 54 years old before like the lights came on. And you might say to yourself, "Holy shit, 54 years old. That's no spring chicken." And I mean, that doesn't mean that I didn't experience a lot of success and that I didn't have some really good relationships, etc. But I feel it took me that long before I really achieved some self-awareness and knowledge about life and was able to part the clouds and all the things that I had been struggling with for so long to make happen that were challenges started to happen effortlessly. And it's because I finally got out of my own way.
And there, and like you said in your TED talk, like I said, I watched it twice. I'm probably going to watch it every time I get tired, and I'm sick and tired of being
I
sick and
love
tired.
it.
I'm probably going to
Thank you.
pop that in.
Yeah.
But you also said that because me and you, both of our brides are named Michelle, and
Right?
you said that one of your biggest gut checks is when she told you that in uncertain words, I'm paraphrasing, that you got to get your shit together.
Well, I was 50 years old and I was 40 pounds overweight. I was hanging on to a job by the skin of my teeth and I was really struggling with addiction. And Michelle, I'll never forget the day she said to me, she said, "I put everything into this. I love you, but please tell me I didn't back the wrong horse." And it just hit me like a bolt of lightning. And I said, "There's no way that I'm going to take this amazing, beautiful woman down." And, I'd like to tell you that I kind of got it together in a New York minute. That's not true. There were, fits and starts and all that sort of stuff, but I was on the path. And eventually I got sober. And that was one of the biggest life changing things for me. And it continues to be. And that's why I live in gratitude because I couldn't do it myself. And I tried everything. Um, and, you know, uh, once I was able to do that, it changed everything in my life. It changed who I was as an actor. It didn't change so much who I was as a person at my core, because I like to think that I'm a good person at my core, but there was a lot of shit that was covering it up. And I was able to get rid of a lot of that. And it continues to have a profound change in my life.
Well, and nobody's ever heard this come from my mouth, but Um, you actually saved my life. Um, After we had our last conversation and we talked about um, marriage isn't 50-50.
Mm.
Sometimes it's 100-0.
Hmm.
Um, I attempted to take my own life, but
Oh, God.
but because of what you told me, that sometimes it's 100-0, and I had to ask my wife to hold me in bed for a couple hours until
Yeah.
I can calm down.
Yeah.
Um, and it changed my life just hearing that, you know, marriage is not 50-50. Sometimes it's 100-0.
Yeah.
So I really want to say thank you that, you actually saved my life.
Well, I'm sorry that you found yourself in a place where you felt that there wasn't another option, and I'm so happy that you were able to figure that out. Sounds like with the help of your wife. Look, you know what the
Yeah.
bottom line is, man? Everybody needs some help sometimes. And everybody's life is messy. You might, there's people who might look at my life and say, oh, this guy's on TV and he's this and that. And he must, let me tell you, everyone's life is messy. We're all just trying to figure it out. And, you know, it's that old saying, you never know what private war somebody is fighting. And I think everybody has a war that they're fighting. And that's why I believe that if we could just all show each other a little more grace and compassion, the world would be a better place.
Now, in your TED talk, which like I said, I absolutely love and I adore that. You gave a couple steps that you took to help reimagine and to make your life better again
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
become a better man. So,
Right.
what were some of the steps that you took, and some of our listeners can take if they decide they want to go from being a bad boy to a great man?
Well, I think the first thing is that you have to assume responsibility for your life. Where you are in your life right now is the sum total of the decisions that you've made, the good ones and the questionable ones. And if you're not happy where you are, it's not your mom's fault who didn't hug you enough. It's not your daddy's fault who put you down in front of his friends. And it's not the world's fault for not seeing what a special snowflake you are. That's the first thing. Uh, you know, Getting into victimhood is it's a terrible road to go down because there's no results at the end of it. So the first thing is taking responsibility for yourself. Uh, Another thing that I'm a big proponent of is take action. So many people get paralysis of analysis. They overthink things because they're afraid to make a mistake. You know what? If you're going to screw up big, but make a decision, take a chance, get into action. I firmly believe that the universe supports us when we get into motion. What else did I do? A really big thing is to realize that the only thing that we can control are our responses to external stimuli. You can't control other people. And every time we try and control other people, they recoil from us. You get the exact opposite reaction that you want. And if you think you're in control of anything other than yourself and your emotions, just think about the sun. It's a dying star. It's someday going to become a neutron star and then become a black hole, and it is going to swallow up the Earth. And there's no power in the universe other than God Almighty that's going to stop that. So if you still think you're in control, think about that. Um, you know, I got real clear with what it was that I wanted to do, and then here's the great irony of that. If you want results, ignore them. Focus on building a bulletproof process for whatever it is that you want to do. Think about driving a car. We all probably drive a car about 99.8% the same way. You get in the car, you put the safety belt on, you plug something in the nav, you check the mirrors, get in reverse, throw it and drive, obey the street signs, and you expect to arrive at your destination, your result. You don't drive the car going, oh my God, I hope I'm going to make it. Why? Because you built a bulletproof process for driving a car, right? You trust the process. And if you apply a bulletproof process effectively and consistently, checking, doing diagnostics, checking for what's working and what's not, um, over the overarching span of time, you will achieve results. They may not come exactly when you want. They may not look exactly like you anticipate them looking in your head, but you will achieve results. And once I stopped focusing on results, I achieved a lot more of them. You know, when you're focusing on results, you're focusing on the future. That doesn't mean that's different than preparing for the future. But when you're fixated on the future, you're not able to give 100% in the present. And, you know, it creates anxiety because human beings hate the unknown and the future is unknown. And so often, you know, the drama that we create in between our ears of what's going to happen never manifests. And even when it does, and even when it sounds like it's horrible, it's usually not as horrible as we imagine it. And even if it is that horrible, there almost always is a silver lining to everything. Um, and so I just think that, you know, if we stay in the present and take life as it comes, uh, and stay in gratitude, it's a pretty good way to live, and it's a pretty good way to achieve the things that you want to achieve in life.
And I agree 1,000%. Now, also, you know, I'm in recovery 36 years.
That's amazing.
I have a sponsor. I sponsor other people.
Yeah.
And I believe in mentors. Like Robert Garcia is a mentor to me.
Yeah,
How
he's
important
he's a good one.
Yeah, how important is mentorship in success? Because if success leaves clues, you should have a successful mentor, right?
Absolutely. And the reason we have mentors, sure, there's the practical reasons that mentors are people that have walked the path that we want to walk, and they can point out the pitfalls, and they could point out, you know, the potholes and things like that, and they could open doors for us. But mentors also prepare us to become a mentor. And I believe that I believe that the secret to life is discovering that gift that each one of us has inside of ourselves. And when you discover that gift, you've uncovered the secret of your life. I believe the meaning of life is figuring out how to take that gift and share it with the world to make it a better place. And mentoring is absolutely a terrific way to do that.
But you're also a person, you and your bride are also people that you guys love to give back. You
Yes.
guys are always giving back. You're always, because I think we're taught in recovery that we cannot keep what we cannot freely give away. And,
Yeah.
you know, even like I'm going to go hang out with Sergeant Big Country on March 15th. You
He's such
guys
a
already
great
sent a
guy.
gift package. You guys sent the gift package already
Yeah.
to you know, to support Sergeant Big Country.
Well,
So
he's a real
how
inspiration.
important is it? So how important is it to, you know, to live a life of gratitude and to pay it forward?
I think by living a life of gratitude, you're staying in the present. You're staying connected to the present, to what's going on. Um, you know, for me, one way to stay in gratitude, and this is the first thing that I do every morning before I do anything else, is I hit my knees and I thank my creator for five things. And, if I can't think of something, I thank him that I got another day to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And by living in abundance and not scarcity, it triggers the law of vibration. The law of vibration says that everything is energy, everything vibrates at the subatomic level. That includes thoughts and words and emotions. And when you're and the universe isn't fair or unfair, it just is. So you don't have to believe in universal laws, but they affect you anyway. So the universe matches what you put out. We were all taught that opposites attract. That's not true, only in magnets. But if you're putting out a vibration of abundance, the universe recognizes that you're not living in scarcity, you're living in abundance, which means you want more abundance. And it gives you more and it gives you more. But when you're walking around saying, God, I'm always broke, I can't get the job I want, I'm never making any money, you're living in scarcity. And the universe says, oh, you want scarcity, I'm just going to give you more scarcity. And the very thing that you don't want, you wind up getting.
So talk to me about the power of proximity. Like for me, I believe that if I'm hanging out with five guys and they're going to the titty bar and they're getting divorced I'm going to be number 6.
I
But if
am.
I hang out with 5
Yep.
guys that are family orientated, goal orientated,
Yes.
they hustle, they grind, and they're wealthy, I'm going to be number 6. So
Absolutely.
talk to me about the power of proximity.
I'm real blessed with that because I'm in constant proximity with my wife, who is a stone cold badass, and she is one of the best people I've ever met. And she consistently makes me a better man. So I'm pretty lucky that way. I'm very careful about who I hang out with. There's a difference between somebody who's going through something and they're talking about it, but they're looking for a solution, and somebody who's an emotional vampire and they just want to be a victim and they just want to kind of emotionally vomit on you. I if I know that somebody is not focused on a solution to get themselves out of the problem, I don't generally give it a lot of time. I'll be happy to revisit it once they're ready to get into action and take care of whatever issue is affecting them. Um, but I agree with you. If you're a guy that's trying to stop drinking, but you're taking lunch, 4 times a week, at the strip club, it's a matter of time before, and you go, well, what happened? I don't know what happened. You have to decide who you want to emulate in this life. You want to be yourself, okay? But there are people that we see qualities in that we respond to, and those are the kind of people that we want to be with. In a really simple analogy, if you're a tennis player, you always want to play with a better player because they hit the ball harder, they've got better, location and placement of the ball, which forces you to up your game, you know? So even, in AA, and I'm not in AA, but I certainly have had my time with it. And about lower companions, you
Yeah.
know, you don't want to be with lower companions. And you know what? It's better to be by yourself. I call it the lone wolf strategy. Sometimes you got to go into the woods and you got to lick your wounds and you got to figure out a new strategy and you got to come back out, and then you're at the head of the pack. And I don't know, you've heard that old analogy, the tiger and the lion are fierce and strong, but the wolf doesn't perform in the circus. And I think there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with being a lone wolf for a while and shutting yourself off from the world for 30, 60 days and just rebuilding your bulletproof process of who you are. Do a hard diagnostic. What am I doing that's stupid? What am I doing that is keeping me from my goals? What habits am I consistently engaging in that are not serving me? And decide to eliminate them and replace them with things that serve you. And believe me, everything will be out there waiting for you when you get back. You're not going to be missing anything. And I can tell you this, I lost 50 pounds, I quit drinking, a lot of other good stuff. The feeling when somebody sees the lights are turned on, when somebody who knew you when says, "My God, you're almost unrecognizable," and it's not just losing weight; it's the light in your eyes, it's the aura that you have. I know that sounds a little woo-woo, but it's true. When you are living in harmony with the universe and who you are supposed to be, you give off a vibration and it's attractive to people. They want to be a part of it. I got a friend named Billy Allsbrooks Jr., who's a motivational speaker. And, Billy says, set yourself on fire with passion and the world will come and bathe in your warmth. And it's true.
I love that. And talking about warmth, I just had some of your mango madness hot sauce,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of afraid of your the cobra venom. But talk to us
I
about
got the Cobra
talk.
Venom right here. There we go. I got the bad boy Cobra Venom right there, baby.
Yeah, so
Um,
talk about it. Talk about what the impetus was to come out. I mean, I know you have your own cookbook,
yeah.
cookbook for years, but
Yeah.
when did this all come about?
I've always been a foodie, love food, love hot sauce. Um, and I thought, what would be a cool way to kind of get my feet wet in the in the food product business, and I settled on hot sauce. And I thought, well, I'm known as the bad boy of karate. Bad boy sounds like a really cool name for a hot sauce. And I had this really fun character designed that sort of looks like a bit of a cartoon version of what I look like in Karate Kid 3, and came up with some fun names, Cobra Venom, and came up with some really terrific sauces. And I'm looking forward to expanding the line, eventually taking the bad boy flavors. We're actually in negotiations right now for a co-branding deal with another major food company. And I'm looking forward to growing this. And my inspiration for it was Paul Newman's Newman Zone. And if you know anything about that company,
Mhm.
uh,
Yep.
Mr. Newman gave 100% of his proceeds away to charitable organizations. And I would love nothing more than to build this brand up into something really special and give back. Um, in the beginning, I can't do that because it's it's a very expensive business to get into, and I'm probably going to be spending more than I'm making for a while. But once I'm in a position where I'm able to say, okay, we're doing really well with this, again, it goes back into that giving back, and I really nothing would make me happier than being able to do that. And I promise you this, I promise you that a veterans organization is going to be one of those charities.
And like I said, I got all three. My wife made it with the mango chutney last night. Outstanding.
Nice.
We're actually having a Kentucky Derby party. We're going to be using the Cobra venom for wings. So my house is
You can
all.
make virgin Bloody Marys.
There you go.
You
And
know.
my household, you are the only hot sauce in our house.
Oh my God! Now I'm honored. We just got just today. We just got our first big review, and I was opening it, and I was like, "Oh man, I really hope this is a good review." And it was. It was a great review, and I was really honored to get it. And the biggest compliment is that I got people coming and buying the sauce 3, 4 times. They're coming back for it. So if you'd like to check it out, go to badboyeats.com. Badboyeats.com, and you don't have to buy anything. There's some funny videos on it. I make some funny promo videos that are a lot of fun. But the sauce is terrific, and I'll ship it right out to you if you order it.
Yeah, and I ordered it, and I got notification that it was in the mail that day.
Yes, sir. That's how we do it.
And you also got a Facebook page, right?
Yeah, I don't use Facebook a whole lot. I use Instagram. I keep my DMs on, which is Sean.Kanan. So if you want to follow me on that, I would love it. And I do my best to respond to everybody. And if you want to check out any of the books in the Way of the Cobra series, Way of the Cobra, Welcome to the Kumite, and Cobra Couples, just go to Amazon. They're all there. And lastly, I really hope everyone will check out my TEDx. I really do. And if you like it and you respond to it, please share it with someone else that you care about. Just I can either give you a link or just Google Sean Kanan TEDx. Just find it. I think you'll really like it.
Yeah. And brother, I'm so grateful and I'm humbled that we finally got a chance to hang out again.
Absolutely, brother.
And I'm so humbled and grateful for your friendship all these years. And if there's anything I can ever help you and your bride continue your mission, I'm in.
You know
No
what?
questions
Just
asked.
your friendship is all I need from you, and a chance to catch up with you every now and then and hear that your life is going well.
It's going great. And like I said, I'll let you know what everybody thinks when we have the Kentucky Derby party.
I love it. Sounds good, pal.
All right, brother. Well, have a great week. And guys, remember, as I always end with this, um, that we every morning we wake up, we can either have the choice to be a victim or a victor. And if
Yes.
you guys listen to this show, you're no longer a victim of your past,
Right.
but you're a victor of your present and your future.
Love
And
that.
remember that vertical momentum, the only way to go is up. I love you guys. Have a great week. Sean, my brother, have an awesome week and
Thanks,
kiss the
brother.
bride for me.
All right. You take care.
Be good, brother.